Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a double fan fold shirt. This shirt is a George brand shirt which I purchased at Walmart in the men's section, and it's 100% cotton. I'm going to begin by centering the shirt, and this process is going to go really fast. But down below this video in the description, I have a link to another video which shows how to center the shirt. Basically, what I'm trying to do with centering the shirt is get both sides of the front of the shirt next to each other and both sides of the back of the shirt next to each other. So that way, whenever I apply the dye or do anything to the front side of the shirt, both sides of the front are going to look the same, and the same thing with the back. If I just folded the shirt in half, I'm not going to have both sides of the front right up next to each other. They're going to be separated by layers of fabric. And so one side might be a little bit darker than the other, and they don't always look as symmetrical and like each other as if you center a shirt. Okay, so now that the shirt is centered, I'm going to attach either a piece of string or an old piece of sinew to a washable marker and use that to draw an arc on the side of my shirt. You can put this arc wherever you want. I'm choosing to put this one a little bit higher where it kind of goes into the armpit area just a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fan fold this line that I just drew on the shirt. As I'm fan folding the line, I'm extending the fan folds out on either side of the line as well. I have most of the shirt fan folded. About the only thing left is the sleeve. So I'm going to lay it out flat, and I'm going to make fan folds of the same size and incorporate them into the rest of the shirt. Then once I have the entire shirt fan folded, I'm going to hold the folds in place with some kite string. I'm choosing to use kite string because it's going to hold the folds tightly without holding them so tight or pulling them so tight that they start to fold in on themselves. Sometimes when the shirt is as wide as this one is, if I try to use rubber bands to hold these folds in place, the tension in the rubber band is going to cause those folds to kind of fold in on one another, almost like take the shirt and fold it like a taco. And I do not want that to happen. So the kite string is going to hold the folds flat, it's going to hold them in place, and just tight enough that it's not going to come undone, but it's not going to hold it so tight that it tries to kind of fold in on itself. The kite string is also not going to cause white lines in the shirt. So where sinew would cause a white line every place where I placed it and tightened it down really well, the kite string won't. So it's going to allow the dye to move the complete length of the shirt. For this shirt, I kind of built this color palette around Happy Cat's Owl Bear. I haven't had an opportunity to use that color yet, and so I wanted to try to find some colors that I thought would look really good with it and try them on this shirt. I'm going to incline ice dye this shirt, so I've placed it on one of my long racks, and I've placed one end of the rack down inside of a plastic container. This container isn't one of the ones that has the really tall sides. I think the sides on this container are about 7 inches tall. I'm going to use my silicone cake molds and make an ice barrier to go around the shirt. This is kind of a wacky shape, so these are going to work really well. I'm going to go ahead and place my rack straight across the container for now. I'll go ahead and put it at an incline when I'm finished. I'm going to attach the silicone cake molds together, then I'm wrapping them around the shirt and holding them up close to the shirt by attaching some wooden clothespins to the metal rack. I have a link down below in the description for this video for where I purchased the silicone cake molds. I also have lots of other links down there too for other tie-dye items that I use. This shirt is completely dry, so to make the dye stick a little bit better to the top, I'm going to lightly spray it with a little bit of soda ash solution that I've placed inside of a spray bottle. I'm going to apply the dye in stripes on the shirt, and I'm going to leave quite a bit of white space between each color. I want to allow the dye to move, and since I'm going to place it at an incline, that'll give the dye some space to move or spread into the next color. I'm using Watermelon from Pro Chemical and Dye, followed by Chocolate Brown from Dharma, Owl Bear from Happy Cat Tie Dye, Crimson Rose from Dye Spin, Cedar from Pro Chemical and Dye, and then I'm going to put another small line of Owl Bear from Happy Cat right at the very end. Now I'm going to add a little bit more dry soda ash to the very top of the dye and add on the ice. Once the ice is on the shirt, I'm going to put one end of the rack back down in the container to place the shirt at an incline. I placed the shirt aside and allowed the ice to melt, and after the first layer of ice melted, I came back and added one more layer of ice because I noticed that I still had some undissolved dye left on top. After the second layer of ice melted, I allowed the shirt to process for about 48 hours before I started rinsing it. I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing the shirt in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I noticed I still have some white left on the shirt, but I wanted to go ahead and just allow the dye to move as far as it wanted to and see what the shirt looks like. I think in some designs like this, a little bit of white left on the shirt doesn't look bad. I went ahead and took the silicone cake molds and all of my clothespins off of the rack and continued rinsing the shirt in cold water. Then I went ahead and untied the shirt. I warmed the water up to hot and I continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. After the shirt was untied, instead of just continuing to rinse for a long time, I went ahead and ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent, which is a pH neutral dish soap, and put the shirt in the water and just allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until the water was almost clear. Then I put the shirt along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine and I washed it using a hot water cycle. So now that the shirt has been washed and dried, this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one looks really cool. This was kind of an out of my comfort zone color palette for me. Not that I don't love the colors, but this is just kind of an unusual color palette for me to put together. But I really like it. I don't use the watermelon a whole lot. I don't know why. I mean, it's a really pretty color. It just doesn't really split. And the watermelon, in case you're wondering, is the color that's right in the armpit area. Then the color right on the outside of that is Chocolate Brown from Dharma. And that gives just enough of a dark outline around that watermelon that it really sets the watermelon off. I mean, it really makes it stand out. Then the Owl Bear is the next color, and that's the one I think that's streaking the furthest down the shirt, which is cool because that is one of my new colors and I really wanted to see what that one looked like. And I think that's a cool color. Then the pretty red color that's right in the middle is Dye Spin's Crimson Rose. And then the other little brown area that you see is the Cedar from Pro Chemical and Dye. And then, of course, I have a little bit of Owl Bear right on the the bottom of the shirt and the neck portion or part of the shirt. So I really love the design. I don't mind the white that's left on the shirt. You know, normally I'm not the kind of person that likes to have a lot of white left, but I really think it makes the other colors stand out and pop to have that just small amount of white left in the shirt. I think it looks good on this shirt. I also really like the design on the sleeves. I think that looks really pretty too. So what do you guys think about the shirt? Do you like the design? Do you like the color palette? Like I said, this is a little out there for me, but I actually really like it. I think it looks really pretty together. Please drop me some comments down below and let me know what you think. And if you've enjoyed watching the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.